Hello everyone, this is Charm City Decoded. I am your host, Sophina Turner, and I welcome you all back to a new episode. Today we're going to be talking about Women's Month. We are currently in Women's Month. This is the month of March of 2024, and I want to speak about two women who I think needs to be recognized for the work they have done and the work they are continuing to do. One of them being Miss Shirley Chisolm, the other one being Miss Kamala Harris. So let's talk a little bit about the two. Now, I don't compare anyone. So I need to speak on that a little bit too, because I know in my last episode and some of the comments, some people was thinking that I was comparing Miss Fani Willis with Miss Jasmine Crockett. No, I was not comparing the two. I was speaking on powerful women, powerful black women in position and the positions that they held and what was going on in the positions that they was holding, and and the noise that's going on behind it for Miss Willis, as well as how they choose to represent in their particular fields. So I just wanted to recognize those two, and because we all need to be made aware of what's going on out here that could affect all of us, to some degree. So that's what that was about. So let's move back into the topic at hand. And the first person I want to speak on is Miss Shirley Chisolm. Now, Miss Shirley Chisolm had a couple firsts in her career. Miss Shirley Chisolm, she's, let me give you her full name. Her full name is Shirley Anita St. Hill Chisolm. She was born in Brooklyn, New York, November the 30th, 1924. So as you see, that's the era that she came up in. That's only 3 years shy of what happened with Black Wall Street in 1921 when they destroyed Black Wall Street. So this is the era that she coming up in, and she went to college. She was education was important to her. She went to college. She was born from a factory worker. Her father was a factory worker who came from Granada, I believe. Granada, I believe. That's the name, how you pronounce it. And her mama was a seamstress who came from Barbados. So that's who she was, who raised her. Two strong individuals trying to live and survive in this America. And it was at that point in time, it was a racist America. Not to say we that far from it now, but we're a little ways from how it was back then in the 1920s. So that was, of course, Jim Crow era. But anyway, so she has a couple firsts in her career. She also, when she was in college, she was a great debater. So she was suggested to become a politician, get into the political field. And I believe that's what she chose to do. So she was the first black woman first African American woman in Congress, 1968. She also was the first woman, an African woman, to seek the nomination for the President of the United States out of the two major parties in 1972. So she also has served 7 terms. She served 7 terms in the House of Representatives. She had a motto. Ms. Chisolm said her motto is unbought and unbossed. That's a great motto. I like that motto. I think everyone needs to live by that standard. Unbought and unbossed. Because there are a lot of folks out here who sell their souls for pennies. My soul, to me, is not worth selling to anyone. I value my soul. I value who I am. My worth is important to me. My beliefs and values are important to me. So I'm glad that we had someone who represented that in Congress back in the late 60s and 70s. So Miss Shirley Chisolm was unbought and unbossed. So I love that motto. And she had, you would say she what's the word that they choose in Congress? She has presented over 50 bills. During her tenure there, she also in 1974 she helped to pass the minimum wage law. Now, that was so important because I know when I started out here, and I started working at the age of 14, and back then in the 1980s, my minimum wage back then was it $4.25. So I can imagine what the minimum wage was back in the 1970s. Oh my goodness. Wow. In 1974, yeah, that's my birth year. So you can imagine. Yeah, that I can imagine. So that's important that she fought for the people. It was all about the people for her. She wanted to make sure that she represented right. It was for making sure that, and she was for all people, but she centered more so around the black community and women because, they was definitely at a disadvantage than others. So she definitely represented for all, but she sent, her focus was mainly on those particular styles, those particular people because of that. And because of what was going on and the era that you lived in back then, even though 1970s was past the Jim Crow era, but we still have the aftermath of the Jim Crow era back in the 1970s. So you can imagine what was still going on. And then she was the first black woman in Congress. What? So imagine what she was going through. And that big body had a lot of older Caucasian gentlemen. Let me just put it that way. So I'm sure she received a lot of grief being in that position, but she overcame. And I believe she has achieved so much in the time that she was there. And she didn't back down to nobody. She stood up and stood out, and she made sure you heard her voice. Yeah, her voice definitely was heard. So we definitely have to honor and acknowledge Miss Shirley Chisolm for all her contributions to this society, this country. So thank you, Miss Shirley Chisolm. Thank you very much for everything you have done. And we are reaping the benefits from all that you have done. So I will say thank you again. And then now we're going to go on to Miss Kamala Harris. Now, I've been listening and watching Miss Kamala Harris since she's been in Congress, since she was in Congress. Now, I know that she served as the district attorney in San Francisco. She served as the attorney general of California. And now, of course, she served as the U.S. state senator, and now she's the vice president of the United States. So, wow, look at all those accomplishments that she has. And she comes from, she also was a lot of firsts. Let me say that. She was born October 20th, 1964, so she will be turning the big 60 this year. Yes, yes, yes. But that number, that age is it's young compared to when you think about all the accomplishments she has accomplished before the age of 60, that's beautiful. I think that's very beautiful. And I know a lot of folks like to focus on that she was elected and she ain't doing nothing. Well, I'm here to tell you a couple things that she has been doing. A couple facts I want to, fact check some people on. I want to share with some people out there who think that she hasn't been doing anything. She just been sitting on her little butt not doing nothing. So let's go into it, okay? One of the things that she has done, she helped to pass the first meaningful gun law in 3 decades. 3 decades. Now, we know how important the gun laws are, right? Because we know what's been going on out here over the last several years. Several years. All these mass shootings that keep on occurring. The access seemed to be so easy to guns. So this gun law that was implemented supposed to help to minimize the access because it's out of control. It's so much death you would think that we are at war. We have another civil war, here in these United States of America. So that gun law that was passed is very important. So that's one of the things that she has helped to make better. Because we're talking about Build Back Better, because that's what they ran on, Biden and Harris. Build Back Better. So let's focus on the Build Back Better. Okay? We also see that she enacted $1 trillion investment in the country's infrastructure. The country's infrastructure is what she did. And we know, and that means what? To remove lead pipes in America. Remove lead pipes in America. Now, we know we got a lot of lead babies out here that has been hurt because of the lead that was in these pipes over the years, coming out farts and things of that nature. Lead paint that was used in homes and things of that nature, especially in the poor, low-wage areas. Yes, you had those messed up landlords who didn't do anything, but they wanted that rent money every month. So, yeah, a lot of babies was affected by this, where they had a learning disability, some of them, they had their behavior issues was at play when it come down to this. So thank you, Miss Harris, for helping to bring forth that, because we need that. Okay, they also helped to make most significant investment in public transit. That's important, right? Also, repairing bridges. That's important. And God bless the dead, because there are a lot of folks that, came to, their demise because bridges collapsed. So, yes. And then we have the high-speed internet. They have improved that in history. So, and then that's just a little bit. Well, let's go back. Let's go keep going. We also have where, let's say she also capped the cost of insulin. That's now at $35 a month for seniors. $35 a month for seniors, that's a blessing for them. It's affordable. That's the whole point. They also cut prescription prices. That's important, right? Then they also improved maternal health by expanding postpartum care through Medicaid. Who don't need that? Women go through it sometimes after having a baby. They become unstable mentally, emotionally because of, it's a lot. So it can be paid for through Medicaid. That's important, right? Right? Yeah, I hope so. And then let's go keep going. We also she cast the deciding vote to secure passage of the landmark Inflation Reduction Act. Inflation Reduction Act. She helped to what? She had helped to secure passage of the landmark Inflation Reduction Act. The largest investment ever tackling the climate crisis. That's what she's been doing. She also voted to confirm Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court to achieve representation of women and people of color on the federal level. This is what she's been doing. She been, and she didn't just stay, it wasn't just domestic. She went outside international too. She also, in June of 2023, also announces $100 million in support for the Caribbean, trying to help build their infrastructure. What's going on over there? So this is what she's been doing. This is what we need, right? Right? We need this type of representation. People. For the ones who still on the fence about voting, or for the ones who choose to vote you can vote how you choose to vote. That's your business. And I know people be talking about Biden and his age, but look what he has done with the age that he is. Our former president, what has he done with the age that he is when he was there in office? If you want to make a comparison now, I'll make a comparison in that. I will compare our former president administration to our current president administration. And believe me, I will vote every single time for our current administration because look what they have done. They don't speak a lot about it, which they should. I believe, what was that rapper name when he went on TikTok and said, y'all need to learn how to brag? What's his name? I can't think of his name. He's a southern rapper. He said, y'all need to learn how to brag. You know, get your bragging rights. Let them know what you've been doing. Yes, they do. They do. They do need to do that. They need to learn how to do that because they have been working. They've been working for the people. They've been working for this country, and people need to recognize. So people need to get out there and vote in this election come November of 2024. Stop sitting on the fence. Stop sitting there at home. Stop complaining. Stop saying that this ain't been done, that ain't been done. Believe me, everything that has been passed so far and that will continue to be passed through this administration is affecting you and affecting your family. It's affecting your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. If you got to get out there and you got to teach them the right things. You got to teach them how to stand up for themselves. You got to go out there and vote. Let your vote be heard. Stop sitting at home doing nothing but complaining and listening to all this racket that's going on around you instead of really paying attention to what's important. Let's do this, people. You better recognize. That's all I got to say. So this is Charm City Decoded. I'm your host, Sophina Turner. And I will add in, please, by all means, please like, subscribe, leave a message, as far as a comment below. Share if you can. That would be greatly appreciated. And I have to say thank you again to everyone who has gave me over 1,000 views on my last episode. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you, because I'm doing the best I can with getting the messages out there. So this is Charm City Decoded. I am your host, Sophina Turner. I will see you next time.